to my channel. So I want to talk about a few different Love After Lockup updates in this video, starting off with Tayler and Chance. So Chance actually had a court date today for his hit and run he had in December, and when he decided to steal this lady's car and drive off with it, and he got a tampering in the first degree charge. And not much happened today. They just selected a judge and continued the court date. And Tayler actually posted on her Facebook and said, y'all ever look at a person you used to be so weak for and just feel disgusted? And some girl commented on this and she's like, okay, but if that's the case, then why would you allow him to live in the same house with you? And why would you want the girl who broke up a happy home living with you as well? And Tayler responded, she said, I'm going to be clearing some things up. Even though my living arrangements don't concern anyone, shaking my head, I just been busy because I work 6 days a week and I have kids' birthday parties and everything else happening. Side note, Alyssa didn't tear our family apart. Alyssa is even the girl Chance cheated on me with. I know exactly who the girl he was talking about is, nor is anyone on drugs. I just assumed that they had bad blood because Tayler, back in the day when those X-rated videos came out that Chance's girl posted, she claimed she sent them to Alyssa's mom. And one girl was like, well, you should clear that up with your sister, who claims Alyssa's the one who tore your family apart. And Tayler said, yeah, well, she was actually around without production having to pay her to do it. She would know more about what is actually going on in my life instead of making assumptions and posting them all over the internet. Shaking my head. So stay tuned. I'm curious what Tayler is going to share when she does speak more on the situation. And that is crazy. I would feel some type of way too if my sister was only coming around when they were filming. And if that's the case, then that means Bobbie wasn't even stopping by as much as she was trying to make it sound like she was to drop off food and treats for the dog. Comment that was going around that was allegedly Heather's aunt, and I'm not sure what aunt exactly it was, but she had claimed that Heather was no longer in the hospital and that her baby had been taken away. And this morning we finally got an update from Heather, and it looks like she's done with her social media break. Even though when she said she was going to have a social media break, she was still kind of posting on Facebook. But she posted this morning and revealed that they did indeed take the baby. So let's go ahead and look at what she had to say. Okay, so she says, they said an anonymous caller gave them a tip and that Airbnb is not adequate housing, which my lawyer has advised is not true. Awaiting the court hearing info to come later this morning. So grateful my big kids got to spend the day with me and my baby in the hospital before this happened. Family bonding and love. Please pray and send great vibes because I'm holding on for dear life. And she is obviously crying in this video, so let's listen to what she has to say.
I'm not. I already did it. Good morning, you guys. So I know this is going to shock everyone. It's devastated me. But despite what we were told by the city of Chicago, that as soon as baby was born, Xavier and I and the baby would be taken to a family shelter. DCFS came to my room yesterday, accused me of giving myself an at-home abortion in the past, which has never happened. For those of you who've been watching, I lost a twin pregnancy December 26th at the hospital by going into preterm labor.
Just real quick, I just have to stop real quick because when she did have when she lost the twins, it was in the shower. And I know because she sent me the full video. She posted a clip that was kind of censored to Instagram, but she sent me the full-on video, didn't cover anything, and I saw everything that happened, literally seeing blood come outside of her. She didn't fully pass the twins at the hospital. It was actually in the shower. But she did go to the hospital afterwards. So yesterday, Heather suddenly made her Instagram page private, so anyone who wasn't following her previously would not be able to see her post or her stories. And I saw We Are BCG. They cover Heather, and they do an excellent job. They they kind of thought that maybe the reason she changed her page to private is to try to hide her page from DFS. And I think that is exactly what happened. And she claims that DFS came to her yesterday. One of my last videos, I was asking, like, did she end up getting the travel system she was talking about? And right here, she shows off the travel system that she purchased, which is like a stroller, and it can also hold a car seat.
But we're heading back there today. I have all of the rest of anything that my baby might need. He's been on breast milk ever since birth. He's not had any formula yet. They have not run out yet. Thank God. I have an oversupply always. So we're on our way back.
I think this is Heather's attempt to try to look as much like a normal mom as much as possible. Here's my nicely organized stroller and car seat. And I wonder who's watching all their belongings in their cart and their tent while they're doing all this, because usually they don't like leaving that behind.
Had like 10 police officers here. Probably more than 10 police officers. Well, not more than 10. About 6 police officers, I'm exaggerating. Because after agreeing that I could bring my breast milk, they tried to say that we could not, and that we could not bring even beyond the property. So they said that there's going to be a car within an hour to pick us up. The police gave us some snacks and water and stuff. We'll see what happens. We're going to go back and pick up my breast pump from the area of storage. My boobs are so hard. I need to pump immediately. And then the sergeant was able to get clearance from the NICU that they would accept the breast milk.
Okay, this was people weren't sure. Did she say they would accept the breast milk or they wouldn't? I thought she said that they said they would accept the breast milk, but it sounds like some people, to me, it sounded like they said they would accept the breast milk, but a lot of people were saying that it sounded like they said they wouldn't accept the breast milk, and they're like, oh, she definitely had to test positive for something if they're not willing to take her breast milk. But I feel like she said would, but you guys let me know. So the police are not letting her or Xavier on the hospital property because they fear that they may try to run off with the baby. And I feel like if the stroller and the car seat's really for the baby, I would have been like, okay, well, let me leave all his belongings here. I feel like they would have probably been willing to take that as long as they, like, you know, searched it and everything. But instead, she just leaves with the stroller. So now what are you going to do with the stroller now? Probably resell it.
So we'll be back. What an awful feeling. Like, they said that they don't want us to try to steal the baby.
Okay, and then she shares a receipt. I'm going to try to pull up a different one on the screen, which I try to cross out more names. But she says, per the United States Attorney, there is no case for myself nor a child, and I should follow up with law enforcement and pick up my child from the NICU. So she called the state attorney office, and I guess within 24 hours they're supposed to start a case, and she couldn't find any information about a case. But what we're going to see also, like we see here, DFS. She's been talking to DFS, and she has their phone number, and she's been speaking with DFS, and she even has their phone number. It looks like she tried to call and they didn't answer.
And the state's attorney says that DCFS.
Here is someone trying to reach out to her about adoption. I'm not sure if this is somebody involved with DFS or somebody trolling her, but she says, I do not authorize my child for adoption. I love my children and do not believe in adoption as an option for the best interest of my family. And then somebody sent her an email saying everything is confidential. Hi, Heather. We just want to keep in touch with you to see how you're doing. We hope you're doing well. You can call us anytime, and it's like a 1-800 number. It's confidential, and you can feel confident that our staff will work hard to do everything possible to help you with your needs. If you're right. Okay, so it's like a link for her to apply for adoption.
If us never actually filed any sort of case to put my baby in PC. And that there is no pending court date. Policy in the state of Illinois is that you must receive an administrative hearing within 24 hours of the time your baby is placed in PC. So my baby's in the NICU, and I still haven't been given a court date. And then I received this. So then I call the police and I'm like, hey, is this person even really with DCFS? Because the state's attorney says there's no case for me.
Oh my
No case for my
goodness.
son.
Now she's starting to say the lady from DCFS is fake. Oh my gosh. I knew that automatically, like as soon as her child got taken away, it was automatically going to be everybody else's fault, or people are impersonating people, or some kind of crazy things going on. Like these people just sent a caseworker to your room at the hospital and they're not legit. Like, come on now. If it wasn't legit, then the police wouldn't be there at the hospital enforcing it.
On Weston Gillespie. That's weird. The police officer goes up and gets this. So they are trying to apply for payment for a foster family to take my child when I have a place to go. That's taxpayers' money. Everyone's saying, well, you know, why don't they just give the baby to you if you're going to a single family apartment? You're only cited for homelessness, right? Which is true. So the only reason they're taking the baby is because I'm homeless, but now I have a place to go. We have our own unit in a shelter with a case manager.
And here's the thing, though. I don't believe them taking Heather's baby is going to be the end of the road. They're going to give her every ability to change her life around. And she was really serious, and she would put the pedal to the metal and do everything she can to get in a stable environment, get a job, get everything she can to support the baby outside of relying on people's CASHAPP donations. But I feel like she's had 9 months and she hasn't proved herself yet, and we have yet to see this shelter. But hey, maybe all of a sudden she just worked something in last minute, because we did see a call to Salvation Army in her recent calls earlier.
I'm waiting. The pickup request went through, and they're supposed to be here between 3 and 4. Me, Xavier, and Weston finally got accepted to this place. So I will continue to apply for work as I've done my entire pregnancy. And we will go to this place, even though I get really weird about feeling like I'm locked into places and stuff. I'm very, very grateful beyond any words. And just ready to have my baby home, you know? Ready to have my baby home.
Then she shared and doxed somebody else their phone number. I'm going to crop it out, where someone is texting Heather and saying, look, it was your Aunt Stacy who called them. She admitted either on Facebook or Instagram. She's the reason that this is happening. It's on her. If you comply and can get into a place, even if you have a friend with a home and a room for the baby, you'd be allowed to stay there and get him back. You did your talk screen and you had the records that you didn't abort your twins. So, yeah, I mean, if she does try to get her life together, then there is a chance. Okay, and here she is texting DFS. You cannot, or hang on. I got to put my glasses on. I don't have my contacts in today. You said you would call me back this afternoon. I haven't heard from you since yesterday morning, and I'm now getting emails stating someone is pretending to be calling on various adoption agencies. My baby is not up for adoption, and I'm sure you can understand why this entire situation is suspicious and scary for me as a parent. Caitlin, I'm not even going to say her name. Then she names her and she says, I have a lot of questions. She says, Caitlin, I have a lot of questions when I call the state's attorney looking for court date information. They say there is no case. And it's like, okay, so he's a newborn, so he's going to have to go see a doctor after a week and at least a couple times within his first month of life. And she says, I breastfed him, and I'm not trying to blow up your phone, but you promised to contact me by the end of the day, and I've not heard back from you at all. Please call me back. I have several questions for the welfare and well-being of my child. I mean, once they take her child, she doesn't really have much of a say-so when it comes to him. And I'm sure they're going to have all that taken care of him getting to the hospital. It's either he's going to probably stay at the hospital or he's going to go to a foster home or adoption center, or he might go to a family, but I think it might take a little bit to find a place for him. And like I said, they're going to give Heather every chance possible to get her life together. I was in the middle of editing this video and I went back to check for any more updates, and Heather did post on her stories and she said, I'm feeling so grateful right now. You guys, I miss my baby and I feel like this is the only way, so thank you to Salvation Army and God, hashtag God got us. So she reveals that she got into the Salvation Army. It is a family shelter, so her and Xavier are able to both live there. And if she ends up getting custody of the baby again, then her baby can come move in with them. And she was asking for somebody to get her an Uber to get to the shelter because she claims she doesn't have the Uber app. She's like, oh, it's only going to cost $10. It's like, girl, if you don't even have the app, then how do you know it costs that much? And it's like, okay, if you cannot afford $10 for an Uber, then how are you going to afford to take care of this baby and buy diapers and any other essentials for this baby if you do end up getting custody of him? I'm glad she finally found a shelter that her and Xavier can go to, and I hope she just takes this seriously because we've seen Heather in the past and how she blows up and isn't too good being around other people. So hopefully this will all work out and she's not going all crazy around all these other families and get kicked out, but I'm curious to see how this all works out for her. For this video, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.